Hola, Jude. So, a couple of things I want to touch base with you on. First, these are the assignments that you're missing. You have um, lessons 8, 9, and 10 that you are gone for, or at least those are the ones that I took grades on. So, we have dice conjugation, pastime flashcards, you have stem changing quiz, and a translation page, along with our e learning day. So, let me show you what those look like, and then I can explain what stem changing verbs are. So, if you go down here and you go to Unit 4, we're going to go to um, lesson 8. We have dice conjugation. So if you click on this, basically all you're going to do is work on your stem changing verbs, which I'm going to explain to you here in a second. Oops, this is a little off. Basically, you're going to take a die, or you can choose random numbers 1 to 6, and however you get it, you're going to conjugate that. So jugar changes U to UE. So you're going to conjugate it in the tu form, because if you roll a 2, it's in the tu form. If you roll a 6, it's in the ustedes form. If you roll a 4, it's in the nosotros. So roll the dice you are sharing with your partner, which for you can just choose a random number 1 to 6, conjugate the verb according to the number you rolled, and then tell us what the definition is. So for example, jugar, like I said, was conjugated in the tu form, so you have your AS ending. But it also stem changed, so now it means you play is the definition. So you're going to fill this out. You can fill it out digitally, or you can get a copy from me in class. The next thing on lesson 8 is we did a stem changing quiz. Now, obviously, I can't show that to you, and if you try and click on it, it won't give you access. But that quiz is going to be over the notes that I'm about to share and walk through with you. The next thing is what we had on lesson 9. We had 2 activities. Lesson 9, we had pastime vocabulary. If you go to page 150 in your book, and you're going to go to the red list, you're going to write those down. So if you need flashcards, you can give them to me. Actually, I can show you. If you go to the Unit 4 homepage, go down to the bottom, you have vocab list PDF. So if you click on that PDF, there will be a red column. You're going to put the red column into flashcards. Again, if you need flashcards, let me know. And that is this lesson right here, page 150, pastime flashcards. Let's go back to lesson 9. And then you have what's called this translation and speaking practice. I can give you a digital copy, or you can complete it physically. Make sure I don't have the answers in here for you. Okay, good. So this first part, you're going to be using your book. I would go again on page 150 to use this, but you're going to translate these from Spanish to English. So for example, it says, nosotros preferimos escalar montañas en el Parque Nacional. And that is, we prefer to hike mountains in a national park, or climb mountains, excuse me. We prefer to climb mountains in a national park. So you'll go ahead and write that. Versus this one down here is you prefer to go on a hike. So you would put in the español and you would say, tú prefieres, with the stem change, ir de excursión. And that's it, which is you prefer to go on a hike. So the next thing you're going to do, sorry, my phone just went off, is on lesson 10. So give me 1 second. So that was lesson 9. That was, your translate. Lastly, lesson 10, yellow day. If you go to lesson 10, go to the next page. Next page here is where it says Unit 4, Lesson 10, Yellow Day. And there is actually another video for you to watch of me explaining that assignment, okay? It does not notify me when you've uploaded your assignment here, because you do have to upload it here on Canvas. Just email me and say, hey, Mrs. Graham, I turned in my Yellow Day assignment from Lesson 10, and I will go and check it because it doesn't give me an alert. So those are all of your assignments. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. I know this 16% is not a good reflection of what you know or your working class. I just know that you weren't here, so we just need to catch you up. So I'm going to give you a quick recap of a stem changing verb, which I know I told you in class, but I know it can be kind of tricky. So the first thing here is, what is a stem of the verb? Because we're actually going to change the stem, which is why they're called stem changing verbs. So if you look at the first one here, we stem change the root or the stem. So if we look at dormir, empezar, jugar, the red part is what is actually the stem. The ending here is your AR, ER, IR. So in these ones, they're tricky because you have to conjugate you have to stem change this and you have to conjugate this. So there's two different changes that go on while doing these type of verbs. There's three different types of stem change that are going to happen. O to UE, E to IE, and E to I. Now, there is one that's going to go U to UE because there is no O, but we don't actually count that because it's the only one. The reason we call them boot verbs or stem changing verbs is because if you were to draw a little boot on our 6-way chart, these 4 are the only ones that actually follow this rule that I'm teaching you of that stem change conjugation. These other ones out here actually don't. So if you look at the word poder, it changes O to UE. It means to be able. So we have puedo changing O to UE, puedes O to UE, puede O to UE, and then the ellos form is O to UE as well. It changes the spelling of the middle word. This one is podemos and podes. So, do you remember our verb endings? This is a reminder of saying, hey, I'm teaching how to stem change, but you do still need to remember the o, es, a, emos, es, en, or depending on the word. So if it's an AR verb, you have o, as, a, amos, es, an. If you have an ER verb, you have o, es, a, emos, es, en. And an IR verb is o, es, a, emos, is, en. So, we're looking at our 3 categories, these ones right here. I put them into blue, yellow, and green. Our blue are ones that change O to E. If you look at the word almorzar, when you conjugate it, it's going to stem change here with this O to UE, O to UE, O to UE, O to UE. These ones right here outside the boot do not stem change. Notice it's an AR verb, so if you want to refer back to slide 6, you'll look at your AR verb endings. Notice that it has o, as, a, amos, is, an, and that's exactly what this has at the end. O, as, a, amos, is, and an. So you have 2 different concepts that you have to keep track of when you do this, okay? Now, I'm going to go through this quick list. Contar, dormir, encontrar, mostrar, poder, recordar, volver are all the ones that do the exact same thing. You change them, and then you look at the ending, and then you add the conjugations as you should. Jugar is our only one that's going to do the exact same thing, except it starts with a U, but it will change to a UE. Ones that change E to IE, our first one is querer. Notice here, I did a different color. Quiero, quieres, quiere, quieren. Disregard the color change. It's blue just because it's the picture that I found online. And then outside it stays the same. Notice it's an ER verb, so if you go back to slide 6, you can see that our ER endings are as such. And you see those here in our conjugation of ER verbs. O, es, a, emos, es, and en. Other words that do that is preferir, which is the second E. Cerrar, comenzar, empezar, entender, pensar, and, perder. So those all do the exact same thing. Now, E to I is our last one. It's the exact same concept, except this E is going to change to just an I. So we go to pido, pides, pide, and piden, which is kind of a boot here. And then the outside is pedimos, no stem change, pedis. Notice it's an IR verb. So if you go all the way back up to slide 6, you can see these are where we got those endings. O, es, a, imos, is, en. Right here where we just had it. The other words that do that are repetir, and that's it. Those are the only 2. Now, you do not need to know past slide 29. Special yo forms, we have not learned that yet, so don't worry about it. Okay, so you have 2 assignments for lesson 8 and 2 assignments for lesson 9, and then lesson 10 is a yellow day. So, Jude, let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out to me. I know this was a lot of information, but I hope it's really helpful as you go through it. Yeah, reach out to me. We need to get these done. Hopefully we can do one. We can get some of this done either on spring break or when you come back. Okay. Adios. Have a good